Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to look at a couple of guns here. We have a new gun that was recently purchased, and we're going to compare it to this old gun that I showed in my previous video. This is a Smith & Wesson SD40VE, and as I explained before, it can be had for around $279, brand new, from Academy. You can probably find it, less different places online, but let's just say 280 bucks, and this will get you in the handgun game very inexpensively. As I explained also in the previous video, I want to move from 40 caliber down to 9mm, and that's what this gun is. I did purchase a SIG P365 in 9mm, and that is my carry pistol because of its size. It's lightweight, small package, so I needed to go ahead and get a full-size gun in 9mm. For one, to have it a full-size gun, because my other gun is a 40 caliber as well, but also to use for my license to carry classes. And after having a class this past Sunday, I'm probably going to purchase a 22 caliber or maybe a 380 because I had a first-time shooter, and she did really well. As for a first-time shooter shooting a 9mm, she did really well. But the recoil is sometimes a lot to overcome for a lot of first-time shooters. So having a 22 or something that doesn't, has a lot less recoil is gonna take some of that fear away from them. So here we have a Canik 1 series. All right, here's the case, and let's open it up and see what it looks like. I have some snap caps over here. Let's see what comes with it. So here is the firearm. It is this brown color. I bought it from Academy, and he explained to me that the brown color is the only color that they get shipped in this particular version, the TP9SF. What SF means, I don't know. And there's different variations of this gun. But let's go ahead and clear it. Let's eject the magazine. It's empty. Lock the slide back. No magazine, no rounds in the chamber. The gun is clear. So it's a striker-fired pistol, and back here there is a cocking indicator, and it's red, and it's interesting because it can only be viewed. And there's a loaded chamber indicator up here, but I'm not sure why you would want to see whether the gun is cocked or not. I guess if I don't know. I don't know. I'm at to read on that and see what why they put that in there, or put that feature on there, because you can't feel it. Some guns have indicators and different things, different features, so that you can either, when you have gloves on, you'll still be able to have a tactile feel on something and know, or if it's nighttime, if it's dark, low light situations, you'll be able to feel that it's cocked or that has a loaded round. But just this, I'm not sure. Now, another gun that I ran across when I went to the gun show, it was a Canik TP9, but it actually had a decocker, which is another interesting thing, because most striker-fired pistols don't have decockers. That's usually found on a hammer-fired pistol. So that was interesting as well. So this gun, $299, brand new. You could probably find it for less online, but compared to this one, there's a big difference in one of the main features, which is the trigger. So this trigger looks much like a Glock trigger. Glock's trigger is called a safe action trigger. And it's called that because the trigger can't be pressed back unless you press this lever in the middle. That will allow the trigger to be pressed as such. Now, the trigger pull on here is very clean, very crisp, not at all like this gun. So this gun is it's springy, it's noisy, it's very hard to pull. There's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of resistance there. So with that, if you are trying to follow up shots and that sort of thing, it makes it hard because, one, you don't know where the reset is because it doesn't have a reset. You press the trigger, there's no reset to tell you that you can press it again. You have to essentially let the trigger all the way out and press it again. There's no reset. There it was right there. So it's not a very audible tactical reset. Whereas this one, and I said I was going to load some snap caps in here. Don't dry fire your pistols too much, your striker fire pistols too much without having something to stop the firing pin, stop the striker. If you do that too much over a long period of time, it could ruin the, see that little hole down there? That little hole down there, that is where the striker's tip is coming through. So if you don't have a round to stop that, or a snap cap in this case to stop that, the little hole, the striker head from coming through, eventually over time it could wear that hole, make it bigger, and your gun internally will be ruined. So anyway, let's look at the trigger on this. So this triggers, like I said, there's a little take up here. There's probably a couple of millimeters travel before you hit the wall. That's nice and smooth. There's no extra springiness, no extra noise, but that's the wall. And then you have a nice clean break. Nice clean break. And the reset, very audible, very short, and then you'll be able to fire your follow-up shot. Nice clean break again. So that is the biggest difference, other than the looks. That's the biggest difference between this gun and this gun. Let me show you the takedown. We eject the magazine, eject that round, and it's very simple. Again, very much Glock-like. You pull the tabs down, press the trigger, slide comes off. It doesn't get much simpler than that. You have your recoil spring, you have your barrel, and you are ready to clean it up. Reassembly, everything in reverse, recoil spring. On this barrel here, on the lugs, you see there's kind of like two landings, but obviously this bottom landing that has the curve is where you want your recoil spring to go, because you can actually put it on that first landing and that will be incorrect, and it probably won't assemble properly with it up there. So just make sure you go down to that second landing where that curve is, and you'll be good to go. Once you reassemble the slide, place it on the rails, right? It's back to business and you're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet trigger. What else is on here? You could probably switch your magazine release to the opposite side if you're shoot left hand. And other than that, there's not many other features. Oh, the rear sight is a little different. It is a solid black rear sight. I'm trying to look at my phone as I'm putting the gun up to the camera. So it's a solid black rear sight, and the front sight is a nice, good size white dot. Good size white dot on the front sight, which is the most important. The front sight is most important. That's the object you want to focus on when you're shooting. What else? Now, when I was looking at these at the gun show, they had one that had a decocker, and that's kind of interesting because all of the striker fire pistols I've come across through the years, none of them have had a decocker. Most of the time, you find a decocker on a hammer fire pistol. So I don't know what the thinking is behind that, having a decocker. And especially if you have a cocking indicator on a striker fire pistol, you have a cocking indicator, then I would think you would want all the pistols to have a decocker, but that's only on certain versions. So I don't know. So anyway, this is the Canik TP9SF, and it is made in Turkey. The grip here is not too bad. It could be a little more, a little rougher. It's pretty fine. The back strap, there's some texture on there. There's nothing real grippy though. So that might be a problem if you run into having sweaty hands. Let me show you what comes with it. Now this is the Series 1, so it comes with one magazine, one 18-round magazine. So you get 18 plus 1, which is awesome. Which is also going to be more than the Smith & Wesson SD over here. And you get an extra back strap with tools. This one here on here is the standard. So this one, it would be a little bit bigger for larger hands. This seems to fit fine, but I may try that larger one. And also comes with a trigger lock, which is kind of new as well, because most of the firearms, or all the firearms that I purchased anyway, they come with cable locks instead of trigger locks. So we probably won't be using it, but it is there. What else we have? We have your registration card, and we have your owner's manual. And you should always read your owner's manual to become familiar with all the features of a firearm that you just purchased. And I need to read this myself. So there you have it. This is, again, is the Canik TP9SF, and it's a pretty good pistol for the price, $299. I was going to show you the loaded chamber indicator as well. Let me show you that right quick. So we load it up with some snap caps. Okay, so that's the loaded chamber indicator. It's not very pronounced. You can see it for sure, but it's not. There's a little bump. If you run your fingers over it, there's a little bump there. And you can see how the back portion is lower than the front portion. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that. Yeah, that's a good shot. So it's an indicator. It may not be the most pronounced indicator of, compared to other pistols, but it's there. So you have the loaded chamber indicator, and you have the cocking indicator. So there you have it, the Canik TP9SF. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care.